Hello Slowly friends, and welcome to this yoga for sciatica. This session will be done all standing up, so no floor work at all. What you'll need for this session is your beautiful self, a mat and a block. I've also recorded a chair version of this session, so if you feel like you need to be a little bit more supported, prefer a seated version, then I will leave a link in the description for that video in case, you want to try that one as well. With that said, whenever you're ready, let's get started. So we're going to begin today's session with rolling the spine. So this is just a really nice way to mobilize the spine, to gently lengthen out the muscles of your back, and then hopefully start to decrease some of that compression that you might feel in your sciatic nerve. Now you're definitely going to need a block for this particular little movement. So grab that. We are going to stand with our feet a little bit wider than the hips. Your toes can just be pointing forwards, and try not to lock your knees here. So keep a little softness in your knees. I always give the knees a little bit of a rock, a little bit of a wiggle, and then it just allows you to keep them nice and soft. Let's stand nice and tall through the spine, and let's just take a couple of deep breaths just to kind of arrive in our bodies. So let your shoulders relax down. Take a big breath in and a nice long exhale. Just feeling yourself settling into standing position. Let's take another big breath in. Lovely, letting it all go. If you're feeling a little tense today, this is the place where you can just let it go for a moment. Inhale and sigh it out. Perfect. Okay, still standing nice and tall. We're going to take a breath in. As we exhale, we're going to just start to tuck the chin, drawing the chin in towards the chest. And just pause here for a moment, just feeling the little stretch. Then start to round your shoulders forward, pressing the spine away from you. Arms are nice and loose here. And slowly, slowly, slowly rolling down into a forward fold. Now, you may bend your knees here if you feel super tight in your back or your legs, or if the sciatica is giving you too much trouble. Bending the knees might be really helpful. And then what you're going to do is have your block underneath your hands. So you don't need to bring your hands all the way to the floor. You don't need to grab hold of your legs here. You can use the block on any of these settings to just kind of gently support you. Just if you can, try and allow your tailbone to turn up slightly towards the sky. You have control over this, so only take it as far as you feel you can. And you're just letting the head just hang nice and freely. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it all go. And then you're going to roll yourself back up really slowly. So pressing the feet into the floor, slowly start to roll up the spine. If you need to bring your hands to your legs just to kind of support you as you roll up, do that. Just taking your time, super, super slow. Keep the chin tucked in towards the chest. Allow the spine to straighten up. And then once you get to the top, slowly lift the nose and a little gaze up to the sky. Lovely. Now we're going to do this a few more times, but with a little bit more of a fluid motion. So take an inhale as you're just looking up. Exhale, start to tuck the chin to the chest first. Just slowly, slowly round the shoulders. Start to press the spine out, and then slowly start to take yourself all the way down to your forward fold, bending the knees as you need, and then hands resting on the block. Lovely. You're in control of how low you come down here. Hold it, take a nice big breath in, exhale, and then inhale. Start to roll yourself back up again. Slowly, slowly. Just really try your best not to rush this movement. Rising up, chin stays tucked to the chest, and then at the last moment, slowly lift the nose. Little gaze up, inhale, exhale, tucking the chin again, rounding the shoulders, and then slowly down we go. Perfect, take your time. Hands resting on the block again. Maybe you sink into your knees, or maybe you feel you don't need to sink quite as deep into the knees this time. Hold it here. Let's take a breath. Exhale, release. Lovely. And then inhale, slowly, slowly. Roll it up. Take your time. Really try and focus on your back, on your spine as you roll. Keep the chin tucked in until the last moment, and then lifting the nose up towards the sky. Perfect. Let your body just relax now. Little wiggle of the knees. Just bring your head back to center. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of an outer hip stretch, and we're going to do this back in that forward fold position. But this time we're going to take the feet slightly wider. Maybe you can bring them to the edges of your mat, and we're just going to turn the toes out slightly as well. Again, you might want to have a little bit of a bend in the knees. Take an inhale, find a little length through your spine. Exhale, just tucking the chin and just slowly roll back down, just like you did. Again, maybe you add in a little soft bend in the knees. As you sink down, you might go deeper into the knees. And then just allowing your hands to rest on your block. Now I'm going to pop my block down to that slightly lower level. I've got quite long arms, I've got quite long legs. So I can actually reach down quite far, but you do whatever feels the best for you, whatever your comfort level is. Lovely. Notice how your legs feel here, how the low back feels. Take a big breath in, let it go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a little sway of the upper body. So still keeping your hands on your block, just allow the upper body to slowly sway from side to side. So you're not really doing any movement with the legs. And again, just kind of noticing how this feels in your low back. So it's those low back muscles that we're trying to release, we're trying to lengthen, and so that they can release a little bit of that compression that you might be feeling in your sciatic nerve. Now, if this feels okay, just slowly come back to center, and then you're going to grab your block and we're going to move the torso over towards the right leg. So placing your block somewhere in front of your foot or to the side, wherever's comfortable. You can even change the level if you feel you want to come up a little bit higher. And then nice and gently, just allow the upper body to relax over the leg. Any amount is good. Lovely. Hold it here. Breathing deeply. Exhale. So you might feel a slightly deeper hamstring stretch here as well. And then you might also feel that beautiful stretch on that left side of your hips, that outer hip. That's where you're feeling that stretch. Let's take another breath. And release. Perfect. Now really slowly, we're going to make our way back to the center of the mat. Now, if you feel you need a little bit of a break here from being folded forward, you can always kind of roll yourself back up again and then roll back down when you feel ready. Let's take that little sway again at center, just a little one, just like as a little counter release. Perfect. And then when you feel ready, taking the block, you're slowly going to come over to the left leg, finding that place for your hands to rest. Inhale, exhale, let the upper body just gradually relax down, holding the position. So it's always nice when we go into stretches to think about where that deepest part of the stretch lies, and then focusing here as we breathe in. We're allowing that oxygen to feed that muscle, to help it lengthen out, to release some of that tension and stiffness. Lovely. One more breath here. Exhale, gently release. Wonderful. And then nice and slowly, we're coming back to that center point. We're going to go in for another little sway here. So just allow yourself to get centered and then take the little sway. Nice, soft movement. Wonderful. Perfect. When you're ready, we're going to roll ourselves up again really slowly. So pressing the feet firmly into the floor. Maybe you bend the knees, arms are hanging down, or maybe hands to the legs for that support to slowly, slowly roll yourself up. Chin tucked into the chest, and then nice and gently just bringing the head back to center. Now, once you're in this upright position, give yourself a few moments to just let that blood flow back down again. Take a few breaths. And we're going to bring the legs back in so they're a little bit closer. Now you still might need your block here, so have it just in front of you somewhere, just in case. And then what we're going to be doing here is a little bit of a pyramid pose stretch. So it's the same sort of thing. We're getting into the hamstring, we're stretching out the low back, we're kind of easing ourselves into it. We're going to do it bit by bit. And that's the way that you have that control. Each time you can go a bit lower if you want to, or you have that option to stay where you go into the pose in the first instance. So it's entirely up to you. The most important thing with these types of movements is that you kind of take your time with it and see where you are with the movement on any given day. You know, you don't want to push it too far. Find that little sweet spot for you. Okay, so we're going to start with the left leg. We're going to take a little step forwards, and it wants to be not too far forwards, but just enough so you can comfortably have your foot flat to the floor and a nice straight leg. Okay. And then standing nice and tall, we're going to place the hands on top of this left thigh. Inhale, find a little bit of length. Exhale, start to slide your hands down the leg and keeping your back nice and flat. So it's a good idea to draw your navel towards your spine here. And just come so that your body is about level with your hips. So you're just going to hold on to your leg just a little bit, nice and lightly, don't press. What you could do is pop your block on the highest setting, pop it right next to your foot. Maybe you lean and rest on your block. So you can do this as well. And you're going to notice this hamstring stretch again. We're not quite getting into the low back too much yet. Maybe a bit of an inner thigh stretch. So hold it here. Breathe in. Exhale. Lovely. Draw your navel to your spine. Bring your hands back to your legs. And then big breath, keeping the core nice and tight to slowly ride up. Now you want to have made sure that you kept the back nice and flat there, that we didn't drop the head. We don't want that extra kind of weight, that extra strain of coming up. If you're dropping the head, you're pulling everything up and you're trying to lift the head at the same time, you're working all the muscles in the shoulders. We're trying not to work those today. Okay, so we're going to go down again. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, slide it down and come to about that halfway point. So your body is in line with your hips. Now, if this feels a lot for you today, you're going to stay exactly where you are. But if you think you can go a little bit lower, still keeping the back nice and flat, lower down, sliding the hands a little bit further till you start to feel that stretch deepen up again. You might stay here, you might release your hands back to your block. Lovely, hold it here. Breathe in. Exhale. Wonderful. Release your hands, they come back to the leg, core is tight, big breath, start to rise up. Lovely, and just that kind of rising up as well, you're building some strength around your legs and your hips as you rise. Okay, inhale, exhale, slide it down, and then there's this option to go as deep as you can here. So slowly, slowly ease into it. Find that little sweet spot for you where you're feeling that stretch slightly deepen up. Maybe that's enough for you. If it's feeling okay, maybe you go a little bit lower. Again, you might use your hands on your block here. So you're not bringing your hands all the way down to the floor. Try not to drop your head. Inhale, exhale. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths, really holding this pose. Big breath in, exhale. Lovely. Inhale, 1 more. And nice big sigh out. Lovely. Place your hands back on the legs. Make sure core is tight. Inhale, we're rising all the way back up. Nice and slow. And then just kind of take a little bit of a break here. You take a little bend into your knee. Maybe even take a little shift back and forth. Wonderful. Okay, so we're just going to take that to the other side so you can step it back with that left leg. Right leg is going forwards. So again, foot flat to the floor. You want leg to be nice and straight, as comfortable as it can be. So find that perfect distance for you between both feet. Hands are going to come to the top of the right thigh. Inhale, find length. Exhale, start to slide down. So you're coming in line with your hips just to begin. We hold it here. Maybe we grab the block on that highest setting to just keep us in supported upper body here. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. Place your hands back on your leg, core stays tight. Inhale, rise all the way up. Keeping your core nice and tight is protecting those muscles in your low back as you rise up. Take an inhale, find some length. Exhale, we're sliding it down. And then there's that option to go a little bit further forward. So sliding down a little bit more, ease into it. Don't rush it. Wait till you feel that stretch, then hold it there. Inhale, exhale. Perfect. Draw that navel to your spine. Big inhale, start to rise all the way up. Perfect. Slowly, slowly. Now we're going to see if we can take it that little bit deeper. Don't worry if you've only stayed at that first level. If that's where you're at today, then that's brilliant. You've listened to your body, and maybe next time that you do this little movement practice, this might work a little better for you. You might be able to take it that little bit further. Inhale, exhale. We're sliding it down slowly, slowly, slowly. Lovely. Find that little point where you feel that deep stretch, then you're going to hold it. If you take a breath, let it go, and then think maybe I can go a little bit deeper. See if you can. So they're often just really small little micro adjustments. Inhale, exhale. Perfect. Release your hands. Inhale, slowly, slowly, rising all the way up. And then when you get here, take that little bend into your knee. It's like that little kind of rest movement, little shift back and forth. I always think that feels pretty good. Lovely. And then when you're ready, just stepping back. If you want to just kind of have a little pedal out of your legs, then do that as well. Okay, so our last little stretch, little movement today is going to be chair pose, and we're going to add in a little bit of a twist here as well. So again, it's kind of stretching out those muscles at the back of your hips, and hopefully will relieve a little bit of that pressure that you have on that sciatic nerve. There's going to be a softer option and then a slightly deeper option. Pick which one works for you. But if you feel like, the twist isn't going to be for you today, it's a little bit too much, just miss that bit out and just keep in chair position. Okay, so we're going to bring the feet in a little bit closer. Have about a thumb's distance in between your big toes, so a little bit of a gap. Bring your knees so they're together, and then take a nice deep bend into the knees, or take the knees into a bend that feels the most comfortable for you. Now we want to tuck the tailbone under. So if you place your hand on your tailbone and then just kind of shift the hips forward, and you feel the tailbone just kind of tuck underneath. This is where we're going to hold it. Now this pose really needs core stability, core strength. So we're drawing that navel right in towards the spine. So we keep that core nice and tight. So keep thinking about keeping that nice and tight here. It's protecting those muscles in your low back. When you're ready, we're going to sweep the arms forward, up alongside the face. And if you feel like you could go a little deeper here, then you can. Let's squeeze the thighs together, navel drawn to spine. We're going to take a nice big breath in. Exhale. Lovely, just gazing forward, big breath. Exhale. Wonderful. Release the arms down and then take an inhale and start to straighten up your legs. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to add in our little twist. Soft option and then deeper option, whichever one you want to go for. Knees are together, tailbone is tucked. Start to sink into the knees. Any amount is good. Lovely. Sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Draw that navel in. Take a full breath. Inhale and exhale. Lovely. Now we're going to bring the palms together and then exhale. We're going to bring the hands right down to our heart space. Now we don't want the elbows to be dropped down. We want to create a nice long line from elbow to elbow. Shoulders drop away from your ears. Make sure you're squeezing the thighs. Takes a real bit of effort, this pose. Take an inhale. As we exhale, we're slowly going to turn the torso over to the right. Any amount is good. It's taking you into the twist. So it might be that you're here. You might go all the way over to that right side. It really doesn't matter. The slower you go, the easier you'll find that little point of resistance for you. So, you're thinking about the low back, you don't want to cause any issues, so you're only going to take it as far as you feel you can. So the key is always listening to your body. Inhale, exhale. Lovely. Inhale, slowly, slowly come back to center. Lovely. If you want to take a little break, we're going to take an inhale, straighten up the legs for a moment. Make sure knees are together. Inhale, exhale, sinking down into the knees, making sure that we tuck the tailbone. So sometimes when we sink down into the knees, we stick the bottom out. We're going to take it under and then take an inhale. Exhale, we're taking the twist over to the left. Any amount is good. We're going to hold it here. We're breathing in deeply. Exhale, letting it go. Wonderful. Inhale, slowly, slowly back to center. Wonderful. And then gently straighten up the legs again. Perfect. Okay, so option to take this slightly deeper this time. Now, this is a little bit like one of those little pretzel poses, so it's entirely up to you whether you want to do it or not. But it's always good to have options, see which one works for you. Sometimes you can surprise yourself in actually what you can do when you think that you can't. Okay, so knees together. We're sinking in to them again. Tuck the tailbone, hands are at the heart. Nice long line from elbow to elbow. Take an inhale. Exhale, we take that little twist over to the right. Now, if you want to stay here, that's perfectly fine. If you want to try the deeper option, this left elbow, this one that I'm wiggling, the one at the front, you're going to gently drop it down, if you can, towards the outside of that right leg. To the knee, to the thigh, it really doesn't matter, wherever you can reach. Turning the fingertips out. Lovely. Maybe you take a little gaze up towards the sky. We take an inhale. Exhale, and then draw navel to spine. We take a big inhale and we unravel, keeping those knees bent, coming back to center. Lovely, straighten up the legs. Whew, that's a tough one. Have a little wiggle out of the legs. I'm going to bring the knees together, sink back down, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, exhale, taking that twist over to the left. Maybe we stay here. Maybe this is enough, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to go for that deeper option, inhale. Exhale, we're dropping that right elbow down towards the outside of the leg. Lovely. Anywhere that feels okay. We're going to hold it here. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. Big breath. We unravel nice and slowly. Back to center. We're going to straighten up the legs. We're going to reach the arms up into the air for a nice big stretch. Lovely. We're going to separate the feet, so about hip distance apart. Softness in your knees, and then exhale down into a forward fold. Float it all the way down. Grab hold of your block. Rest your hands on it. Let the head hang forward for a moment. Take a little sway if that feels good. Breathing deeply. Wonderful. Perfect. When you're ready, just bring it back to center, and then we're going to ragdoll rise up one last time. So inhale, slowly, slowly, roll yourself up. Maybe you bring your hands to your legs to just slide up with a bit of support. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Chin tucked to the chest, and then slowly lifting the nose up to the sky. Big breath in when we get here, and exhale. Bring your head back to center. Let your shoulders relax. Wonderful. Okay, take a moment here just to kind of notice how you feel. And then we're going to take a couple of deep breaths here. So big breath in through the nose. Nice big exhale. Let the shoulders relax. Let your belly soften. Knees are nice and soft. Inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Wonderful. And then this time I want you to think about your low back. Think about the pain that you feel in the sciatic nerve, what that feels like. Just focus on that for a moment. And then we're taking the biggest breath that we've taken so far today into that area of your body that's affected. Inhale. And a nice big sigh out. Letting go of that tension, letting go of that stiffness. We're trying to ease that away. Allow your breath to return back to normal. And then when you're ready, nice and gently, just blinking, open your eyes. And that brings us to the close of this yoga for sciatica. I hope that you enjoyed this session. Please let me know in the comments if you did and give me a little like, and be sure to subscribe for more sessions like this. So like I said at the beginning of this session, there is a chair version of this as well, which is obviously done all seated, and I will leave a link for that in the description if you want to check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.